Hello, Sharon Durbin Graves, Painting with Acrylics 101.com, coming to you from my studio here in Kentucky. I hope you enjoy coming in here with me. Today we are finishing up our palette knife painting month. All of February I have been teaching palette knife painting, and we've done some really fun stuff. And today we're going to do a seascape with a sailboat in it. So thanks so much for being here, and let's get started painting. Okay, I have a palette here, and I have all of my normal colors except for I usually have Hooker's Green right in here, but I don't need it for this painting, so I'm not going to put it on. I've got Cad Yellow, medium, Cad Orange, medium, Cad Red Light, burnt Sienna, burnt Umber, Ultramarine Blue, Dioxazine Purple, excuse me, Turquoise Deep, Lime Green, Alizarin Crimson, and a boatload of white. Now I might not need that Alizarin Crimson, and I didn't put a lot on there for that reason, but it's there in case I need it. I'm gonna get a background going on here, and when you paint, I'm using a gigantic big palette knife. I'm gonna take some of the blue, I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to add just a little bit of purple because you can make this night or day. Totally depends on you. But if when you add that purple, it gets it darker. I'm going to add some white to that. White's the great equalizer. It tells you what you have. Okay, I'm not going to mix it up completely. You can see what I've done there. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to put it on here. I'm going to give myself a line. That tells me where the ocean's going to be. So I'm just putting this on. And I can take it off like this and then push it back on there. Now, here's what I don't like. See, I'm going to do this is a seascape. So I don't want these strokes to come down. I want them to go across because maybe they'll look like a cloud, maybe they won't, but if they're going up and down, it just doesn't look right. So I might push it down to get it on there, to push it down into that canvas, and this is just a canvas panel. Something good to practice on. Okay, so I've got some on there now. Now I'm going to come back and go sideways. That'll make it look more like a sky. Okay, now I'm going to add some more white to that. And I'm going to pick up some of this turquoise. And again, you can see I don't mix it up completely. I like to see all the variations in there. In fact, that's almost too, this part up here is almost too flat for me, too plain. Once I get this top part done, I will tamp it down with that. There. I like to see some strokes. I like to see that a hand was actually, oh, that thing's in the way. It's got to go up or down, and for right now it's going to go up. Get it out of the way of my hand. Okay, so I'm coming in here like this, just going to push it on there. See how this is moving around? When I tamp it down with this, that'll stop that. Adding more white to it. And again, just getting it on there like this. And then once I get it on there, then I can move it around. And this is acrylic paint. Dries pretty quick. Okay, so you see how that makes it look much more like a sky than when it goes like that? That just doesn't work. So you need to let your brush do the work for you. Let it move around. Okay, so now you can see that there's a lot of variations going on in that sky. I didn't paint any clouds, but I also did not. Oh, I like that. Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to do some water. Now I'm going to work in the same blue that I have, but I'm going to add much more turquoise to it. That's not enough paint. I know that. That's okay. I'm going to add a little more blue in here. And then you push it off the front and pick it up with the back. Okay, so back in the back, your color is darker. Now you need this to be pretty straight across here because water, unlike a mountain, is, it wouldn't be up and down. So you want to try to get a fairly straight line going across there. Okay? Yes, waves are going to be in there and all that, but you still want a fairly straight line, fairly even, kind of dipping here in the middle. We don't want that. There we go. Okay, so now I've got a big glob there. I want to pull that down. Now I'm going to just pick up some white, throw it over here in this, and now I'm going to push that in there, picking up more, push, 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 push it down into that canvas. Okay, now here's what I do. See this lip here? It prevents me from getting all the way to the bottom. So at this point, I always turn it upside down and go this way. You know, there's a lot of artists that paint upside down because then they're painting shapes and they're not painting things. And that's kind of what an artist should be trying to do, is paint the shape of something and let the thing appear. So here I'm just getting the paint on, going in this direction. Once I get it on, I'll come back in with my knife and make it look more watery. Now, you could make this a sunrise or a sunset. You could, put some yellow, some red going on back there. Okay, so now I want to... I'm having trouble here, folks. Just because I'm left-handed and that thing keeps getting in the way. See, I want it to go side to side. I don't want it to go up and down. I also don't want to get this paint in the sky, so I'm being a little careful that way. Okay, so now I've got a smaller knife, and I can come in here Now what I need to do is turn it right side up and kind of see what I have. Okay, I kind of like this water. I think the water's looking pretty good. I might want to add, I just picked up a little bit of the turquoise on my knife. I might want to come back in here and just add a little bit. I can also pick up some of that white and we can throw in a few little waves. This paint is really thick on here, and so it's almost like an antipasto type paint where you can build it up, and you can certainly build this up. You don't want to play in it too much, okay? So we've got some action going on in here. It's not one solid color. I might want to get a little more in the back, a little darker color back going in here. The more you play in it, the less happy you usually get. I'm just picking up a few little dabs of different blue, putting that in, see if I like that. I could come back here. Again, I'm just picking up a little dab of something, okay? You can see I've just got a tiny little bit. So I might just put some of that back in here. Okay, now I'm gonna move it around a little bit. This helps with the distance, the dark in the, like the dark up here, it got lighter as it came to the horizon. That helps it create a deeper sky. The ocean is the same way. You need some dark going on back here in the back, and then as it comes forward, it gets lighter. Okay, so I kind of like what's going on there. I think we need a little bit more. I picked up a little bit of the dark blue, the ultramarine blue, and the purple. We need a little more back in here. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to bring some of that forward, so it's not too light in the front. There we go. Now stand back and see what you have. A painting is meant to be viewed at 6 feet, and you're like right on top of it when you're painting. So you want to stand back and see what you have, and then you can make adjustments that you need. Okay, so we're going to let this dry, and then we're going to come back and get a sailboat in there. Okay, so we are dried. I have it tamped down. So now it's, I won't say it's immovable, but it's less movable. I'm going to draw a sailboat in here. Now you could draw a, I'm going to put one in right in here because I don't like things in the middle. I like them to be a little off the side. It's hard for you to see that, but I can see it. It's not 100% dry, so it's kind of pulling off some of the paint. So out here comes the bow of the ship, the bow of the sailboat. It's going to come across here like this. And then there's a little back of the sailboat that we're going to inside the boat. And then we'll have a mast and a sail. I'm going to let that dry a little more. We're going to go ahead and paint the boat. Okay, so I'm going to use my small knife. I am going to pick up some burnt sienna. I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to add some orange to that to make it look a little more rustic. And now I'm going to add some white, not a ton, but some. Let's see what we have. Okay, again, I don't mix it up too much. I don't mix it up completely because I want it to look, I want you to see more than one color. If this sky were one solid color of blue and the water were a solid color of a different blue, it would be so dull. And as beginners, that is one of the things that beginners struggle with, is they mix their paint up too much. I think the boat's ending right about in here. up. I think I'm going to make it go a little longer. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to take some of this burnt umber and I'm going to put it out over here on the edge. I'm not going to try to change this whole pile of paint. I need this darker. It needs to be at least 2 values different. Okay, so I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to put it back here. So from here you're looking like you're looking inside the boat. And this is a very impressionistic painting. This is not a photographic rendering of a boat. Okay. Now we are going to get a mast in this boat. So I want some more of the burnt umber. I'm going to add some blue to that. I want it darker. I'm even going to take a little bit of the purple. When I have black, I make my own black with all the darkest paint that I have. Now I'm picked up a roll of paint. I'm going to lay my palette down. Okay, so we need a mast to come in here. Down into the boat. There we go. I think maybe a little taller. Not much. There we go. Oh, too much. Okay, let's clean off that. There we go. That'll work. It'll be okay. We're going to have a sail on there. So most of that will get covered up. Don't ever sweat it. You could come in with a piece of paper toweling. Take that down even more. You could wet your paper towel. Very carefully come in here and take that off. But again, you're going to have a sail on there. So the fact that that's a little too wide will not matter. Okay, so cleaning off that knife. Now we need something that kind of looks like canvas. So we're going to take some white and we're going to put it over here on the edge of this mix that we did for the boat. Okay. So now I'm going to come back in here with my and this is soft bind charcoal that I'm using. And see, I've got paint on it. I picked up paint. Okay, so this is going to come down here like this. Needs to come out to the edge of the boat. Kind of curve up. Well, that was good, Sharon. Curve up here to give it that motion look. And then it's going to curve in here. Okay, and then we're going to put another one over here, a smaller sail here, and it's going to curve also, and it might hook onto that mast. We'll see how that goes. Okay, I'm going to pick up, I'm probably going to make these sails two different colors, sort of. One will be a little lighter than the other, maybe. Okay, so here comes this. Coming right down here. Let's curve this part up and bring it almost down to the boat. I'm going to curve it out here and bring it back down. That gives it that movement, that there's wind in the sail. Turn your knife whatever way you have to turn it to get it to do what you want it to do. You're in charge of the knife. The knife's not in charge of you. Got a lot of marks going on there. Marks that I don't necessarily want. So I'm going to now I'm standing back so I can see what it is I have. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Now I'm going to start on that side to add some more white to this sail mix, so it will be a little lighter. I'm going to get that curve going. I don't have enough paint on here to do anything with. Pick it up, Sharon, pick it up. Don't be cheap with your paint. I'm always telling my students that. Okay, now this needs to curve maybe in. The wind is coming this way, so this sail's blowing this way, but this sail is maybe blowing in. And then out. And then we just pull it across to the mast. Okay, so there's a little difference in the values of the sails, but not a ton. Okay, so I'm going to try to maybe take out some of these marks. There we go. Okay, I didn't get too many out, but that's okay. That's okay. Now what we're going to need to do, we need to seat that boat in the water. Right now it looks like it's sitting on top of the water. Okay, well we need to get it down in the water. So we are going to create a shadow. Light's coming from this way. We're going to create a shadow over here. So the water is blue, blue-green, blue-violet. It's got all these colors in it. So any of these that are exactly opposite of those on the color wheel will make a neutral, muted color. It does what is called grays the color. And so it's not going to make the color gray. It's going to mute it. So we're going to take some of our water. Let's see if we got any left. We'll put some more blue in there, a little purple, and a little bit of this turquoise. Okay, now we've mixed up something there. Until we add white to it, we really have no idea what we've got. It's because white is just really the great equalizer. It shows you what you have there. Okay, so that's not too bad. So now we're going to add some orange to that. We're going to pull down some more of that dark. Okay, see what that does there? It kind of grays that color. There we go. Okay, so that'll make a good shadow right up under the boat. So it's out here. we go. Now we need to get some of the sail off my knife. Now this is where the water takes effect here. So I'm coming back with some more of this darker color, and I'm going to use some of the white. Okay, now we have to remember that this is not a mirror. It's a reflection, and it's got movement in it. So we're going to come down in here like this and come across, moving that knife back and forth. Now back over here, and we're going to move it back and forth some more. I'm just picking up some more paint. I'm not mixing anything. The sail's coming this way, okay? We've got some, picking up some of what we used for the mast, some of that very dark. I'm actually going to put it in there. There we go. Okay, so now it's sort of reflecting. Now we're going to clean that knife off. And I'm going to pick up this knife this time, okay? And I'm going to pick up some of this white. I'm going to go back over here into my blues. Maybe pick up some more. I don't have much of that turquoise left. Maybe that's just enough. We'll see. Okay, we're going to see what this does. Now, what has to happen is that shadow cannot be that close to the boat. So you need to have where the water comes up. Well, I don't think it's going to work with that knife. Some with this knife. Come in here like this. I want that water to kind of splash up on the boat. Okay, now I'm going to clean that knife off a little bit. Now I'm going to come back here with my bigger knife, pick up some more white, put it over here in this blue, wiping it off, and now I'm going to pick it back up on one side. Maybe too much there. We'll see. Now we're going to put in some waves. And we're going to go through the sail. My favorite knife. I use it for everything. So I'm just putting the water over top of some of this reflection. Now this paint is really wet here. So what needs to happen is it needs to dry. So I can actually flick up some water in here. There we go, because that boat is now in the water. A little more white, mixing up a little more of the blue. I want to come back in here and kind of, particularly back here where the boat has already been, it's already broken the water. So it's made some interesting waves going on back there. Not happy about this part here, but I'm going to have to let that dry, and we'll come back and make that water kind of flip up a little better. It's picking up the paint that's there, so it's changing the color. So, but I'm real happy with where we are at this point. You can paint some birds up here. You could put some smaller ships back here in the background to make it have more interesting. They would be back in here, and they would come up just, you know, they would be very small because you're trying to create the distance. Okay, so these, there could be like one or two, one way far back here and one not quite so far, and they would be very small, would help with the distance. Could put some birds up in here, could put a flag. Let's take a little bit of the red and the Alizarin Crimson. We didn't know if we were going to use it or not. Put that together. So the wind is going this way, so the flag would blow this way. There we go. Okay, so we got a nice little flag on there. So, you know, you could come in here with a smaller brush and put something that looks like letters or numbers. They would have a like a registration, kind of like a license plate on your car, only it would be on the sail itself. So you can play around with this and do a number of different things.